Yeah. Mahalo, Kendall. Thank you so much for your beautiful music to open our Vital Living Gathering March service or gathering. We're so happy that you're here. I'm Lori, and you're going to be meeting some of the ambassadors and people that have been involved in opening this amazing organization. And we're meeting monthly. We're gathering to share with community. Our intention really was to create this organization that could bring people together, where they would feel like they could be able to have community and speak with each other openly and honestly and share and nurture each other and nurture ourselves, and sort of, as like a ripple effect. So nurture ourselves and nurture the environment, the community near them, and then the community can nurture the holistic community, bigger community in the world. And that's sort of our idea. So it's a global nonprofit, 501c3 church or spiritual organization. And we also have, our intention is to really empower people. So, it's been a time of a little bit of disempowering for some people and some groups of people. So we're here to help empower individuals and the community. And in that respect, to also educate. Nicole's and I founded this organization, and she's a master of creating curriculums and be able to educate some vital living practitioners. So that's what we're here for. So if we'd like to begin, I'd just like to begin with a very short prayer to open a very short moment. So if we can close our eyes and take some nice deep breaths and really be in mahalo, 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 beautiful gratitude. Bring keakua in all the directions into this moment. Take deep breaths and appreciate the east and the power of the air and the wind and the beautiful breath we take in every moment of our lives, and to appreciate and bring in the energies of the south and the warmth and the heat and the fire, and allow us to be embraced by that spirit as well. And to our watery west for the emotions and all that the water brings to us to nourish us and keep us well and hydrated and peaceful. And of course, our Mother Earth to the north, our grounding, our ability to walk on her gently and take care of her and nourish her. And today our theme is nourishment, or nurturing, nourishment. And so let's take an extra mahalo for Mother Earth, for all that she has done for us. And also mahalo for all those who aren't able to be here and need our spiritual energy and our prayers and our gratitude. A nice deep breath for them as well. Mahalo. Oh, thank you. And we're going to start with a little wonderful presentation from Cory, our ambassador, that is our expert in Ayurveda. So let's welcome her. Yeah, I want to sit on the floor.
Hello out there. Now? Hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you for this. Just sitting on the floor is so much more comforting. Welcome, everybody, and thank you, Tunji and Dr. Lori and Nicole, for putting this all together and creating and bringing us all together in a space and time where we can just kind of be together and share different perspectives and open up to new and different ways. Hi. So the theme this month being about nourishment, I wanted to share with you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. um, a little bit about the Ayurvedic perspective of the mind and how that particular energy or substance is nourished, and how we can recognize when it's not being nourished, and things that we can do in our daily lives to keep our mind channels nourished. So in Ayurveda, the mind is referred to as mano, and the channels that carry the stuff of the mind around are called the manovahasrotas. Srotas. And you can think of it just like the channels of your digestive system. There's the mouth where you perceive all of the six tastes, and then that food stuff gets digested and moved through this channel, almost like a river, all the way to the stomach and the small intestines and the large intestines. And then finally it leaves out the exit of your anus. And so every channel in the body, the respiratory system has a mula or a mukha, an opening, and then it has a channel that it passes through, and then it has an opening or a release, an exit space, right? And so the mind, the root or the mula, the opening of our mind is our heart, specifically the right chamber of our heart. And it's referred to in the classical texts as this mystical space just behind the heart. And so if everybody for just a second will sit up nice and tall and reach around to your ribs on the left side, and almost like let your fingers cradle into that intercostal space, and then reach your left arm up and over the top of your right shoulder. And just take a few deep breaths. And as you sit here and breathe and hold or hug yourself in this way, you're touching the closest place you can be to touching your own heart. And you're bringing your nervous system back into that space of being able to rest, to absorb and digest all of the information that you take in through your senses. All of the ways in which we perceive our body, our world. Okay, let's take one more deep breath in here. And then you can exhale and just let your hands come back into your lap. All right, so the root of our heart, where it starts, where that energy comes into our bodies, physical and subtle, is the heart. So it's not just our physical heart, it's also our energetic heart, so the heart chakra as well. And then it moves through the channel or the pathway, right? But for the mind, the pathway is the whole body. So it's all of the organs, it's all of the cells, it's every part of you that your mind can move into. And the opening, the exit point for the heart, are the sensory organs and what we call the marma points on the body. And so your senses, which are your hearing, touch, vision, taste, and smell, are the ways in which you perceive everything in the world, right? You see colors, you hear sounds, you taste things, you feel the wind blowing on your skin, and all of that information has to be digested and absorbed. And eventually it reaches your heart. So it's kind of crazy to think about everything that you take in through your senses in some way has to be digested. It has to move through your heart space, whether that's the Kung Fu movie you're watching on Netflix, or it's the pizza you had last night, or the argument you had with your best friend. All of that has to go through your heart. And the idea here that we're meant to start perceiving is that it makes what we take in through our senses is what creates so much of our health, our physical and mental health. So be gentle with your senses. In Ayurveda, we also learn that there are three main causes for any imbalance to occur. And the first one has to do with time or season or life, like the stage of the life that we're in. Then the second one is called prajna paradha. It's a beautiful word, but it means crimes against your own wisdom. So when you do things that you know you shouldn't do, but you do them anyway, those are the things that are the most harmful to you. And then the third one is called asatmya indriya artha samyoga. And it means that the misuse of your senses can cause grave illness or disease. And it's the overuse, the underuse, or any misuse. So loud music or depriving yourself of senses, all of those things are going to affect your mental channels, the channels that carry all of that thought, emotion, that reasoning and logic around through the system. And so I wanted to share with you guys just a really simple sequence of marma therapy that you can do on your own to help nourish these channels that get disturbed by wrong patterns of thinking, that get disturbed by watching horror movies or hearing news. Like anything that can cause disturbance in our heart is going to cause clogging in that particular channel. And by touching these specific points, we can allow those channels to flow freely, and the mind and the body can do its own work. We can just get ourselves out of the way. So I want to share a little sequence with you guys. So let's, if you can, touch your feet to the floor, to the earth, most importantly. And bring your hands together right in front of your belly button, right in front of your solar plexus. You can close your eyes. And we'll just start to take 3 deep breaths together. So breathing in through the nose as fully as you can. Let your spine get really tall as you breathe in. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. And then exhale. Nice long exhale. Don't let that breath just jump out or slip away. See if you can send it all the way back down to the feet, back into earth. And then inhale, pull that energy all the way up the feet, to the knees, the hips, past your belly, right into your heart space. And from the heart space, that energy can go all the way out into all parts of the body. And then exhale all the way back down to the feet. So take a few more breaths here. And as you inhale, imagine that breath coming all the way up into the heart space and then being fed out into all directions. And then exhale, grounding back down to that sensation of the earth underneath your feet. Good. And as you're sitting here with your hands together now, start to pull the palms apart, but just leave the fingertips touching. And let your awareness and your attention fill the space between your 2 palms. And just breathe here together for a few moments, concentrating all of our thoughts, all of our intention, our awareness into the space between the 2 hands. And start to notice some of the sensations that you might be feeling here. A little tingling, maybe some warmth. As you take your next deep breath in, let the hands come about 1 inch apart from each other. And start to see if you can perceive that ball of energy that you're holding in your hands, tickling the insides of your palms, pushing your 2 hands apart like the backs of 2 magnets. And as you continue to breathe, notice that that ball of energy wants to expand and grow. And just play with it for a minute. Notice how malleable it is. It's kind of spongy, and you can play with it a little bit. Good. And take another deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. And on your next big breath in, we're going to pull this energy that we've created right into our heart center, placing both hands right over the heart. And taking another deep breath in. And from here, you can blink your eyes and just gently come back into this space so that you can see me. So from here, we're going to let our fingers come out to the sides of our sternum. You can imagine that your palm is right over the nipple. And then push your fingers into the intercostal space on either side of the sternum. Yeah. You're maybe 2 or 3 notches below the clavicle bone, right? This is called hridayam. They are 6 points bilateral to the heart that help to improve all functions of your heart, right? So the pumping, the relaxation, all of the needs of the circulatory system to get that lymphatic fluid and your blood cells circulated all over the body, and to move some of those emotions that can get stuck in different parts of our body. So we'll just take 3 more breaths here, activating these hridayam points, opening up all the channels of the heart, releasing any excess pressure or buildup in these particular channels. Now from here, you can bring your thumb right into the center of your heart, your right thumb, and let your right middle finger drop down to the xiphoid process. And your left hand can just rest in your lap, And if you like, you can make this mudra, it's called chin mudra. And that way we ensure we're not losing any energy anywhere. So now press into these 2 points. And if any of these points are tender or maybe a little painful, then it means that this particular channel might have a blockage in it. And it can be a physical or emotional blockage. So we'll take 2 or 3 more breaths, breathing and pressing into these 2 points. You can move them around and deepen or lessen the pressure just to see what your own body responds to. Thanks, baby. And then from here, go ahead and relax your shoulders. Reach your arms up overhead. We're going to interlace the fingers, turn the palms up and reach up through the palms of your hand. Reach all the way down into the soles of your feet. And as you exhale, bring the hands right back in front of your belly, keeping them together. And we're just going to use the thumb of the left hand to press into the center of your right palm. So if you take your hand like this and make a fist, where your middle finger lands, this is called Paramadhya, and it's the heart point on your hand. Sorry, Hasta Madhya. Paramadhya is on the foot. Oh, look, I just realized you can't hear me at all. Okay, so we're just going to use the thumb to press into that point. So sitting up nice and tall, use your thumb. Press into this one pretty deeply. Give yourself some good pressure. And take 3 deep breaths. Sometimes when we find that there's pain or discomfort on the right side of the body, it means that we're repressing some emotions having to do with our mother's side of the family. I'm sorry, father's side of the family. If it's on your left side, then it's your mother's side. Go take a deep breath in, and as you do, bring the shoulders up to the ears, press them back and down, and then switch sides. So now the right thumb's pressing into the left palm, taking 3 to 5 deep breaths in and out. And if we feel any tenderness or pain here, just slow down the breath and let your awareness fill that space in your hands. Good. On the next inhalation, bring the shoulders up to the ears, press them back. And as they go down, you can relax your hands. Good. And then from where you guys are sitting now, you're just going to take your left foot up into your lap. Yep. And you're going to go for this space just below the ball of the foot. This is Paramadhya. This is the heart point on your foot, right? And so here you want to just press your thumb in pretty deeply. You can even use 2 thumbs. And another way to practice this is to sit in Baddha Konasana if you feel, and you can press both of these points at the same time. So we want to inhale, lift the heart, press into this point. And as you exhale, gently round the back, bring your chin to your chest and release the pressure in that point. So it kind of looks like this. You inhale, lift the heart, exhale, rock back. Inhale, lift the heart. Yeah, exhale, rock back. So let's do this 3 more times. Nice long breaths. Good. So after doing both sides, you can come back to a comfortable seat. Good. And we'll just take our left hand over the belly button and the right hand over the heart. And so one of the things that is most disturbing to the mind carrying channels is not listening to your heart and being filled with the thoughts of and opinions of other people. So just loving yourself with compassion, without judgment, without criticism, is one of the best ways to take care of your mind, to nourish your own mind and your own heart. Just to be you, unapologetically you. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to review those points because I want you to remember them and know that you don't have to use them in any particular sequence. You can just tap into one of them when you're worried or you're anxious or you find your heart maybe feels like it's out of beat a little bit. Sometimes when we get a little anxious, it gets a little erratic. All right. So the first thing that you do when you get hurt, or that I do when I get hurt, is I go, ow, or ow, or ouch. And that's me touching myself, right? So there's a Marma point in your hand that's directly connected to your heart. And so I find it very fascinating that the moment we get hurt, we immediately connect ourselves with our own healing energy, right? You immediately want to touch your own wound because that's healing yourself. And so there's a point in the center of your palm that is connected to your heart. Obviously, the area over the sternum is connected to your heart. You can tap it, right? You can massage it. You can hold it. You can talk to it. You can use the ho'oponopono, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, to your heart, because sometimes we go against our own heart, right? And so it needs that practice of forgiveness as well. And then the point in the sole of your feet called Paramadya. It's another point where you can access your heart. And sometimes I'll use that one when I feel I need a little bit more grounded energy, that I'm a little maybe feeling out of my body or unfocused or unsure of myself. And I just need to get back to my center. I need to get back to that place where I feel stable and sure of myself. I'll just reach down and grab my foot and just squeeze that place right below the ball of the foot. And it feels like it almost anchors me right back into my body, like tethers me to my physical form. So that's it. That's my offering today. I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday evening and take care of your hearts, nourish your minds, love each other. Thank you. I'm not sure about the lineup, but there's another amazing person coming up behind me.
We're going to go for it. Okay, we're going to do this a really fun taste experience. So I think we shifted lineup just a little bit here, but I hope you weren't like only planning to come for the beginning part and then going to leave at the end or anything. So we're gonna go for the food part right now. Okay, I guess I'm gonna tie this in while they're pouring some green tea in a little cups. And they're gonna pass this around as well as some plates, and then we're gonna have a little taste experience here. I was gonna have it like you can pair with somebody and then you can feed them, but I was just thinking that right now we'll just have our own plate for the most part and we'll just have some taste experience ourselves. So right now we're going to pass a little tiny cup around that has some liquid in it. Maybe don't taste it yet. It's nothing major or that exciting, but it does have a specific taste in it. And what I wanted to do is talk a tiny little bit about different kinds of ways that we nourish ourselves with food, right? So as I was thinking about that, I was remembering that last gathering, we had a big talk about balance. And balance and what that's exactly that means. And when we're looking at balance, some people feel like life is like sort of a seesaw. Those, is that what they call them? The seesaws. They're in the middle. There's a little fulcrum, and then there's the balance that goes up. A teeter totters or whatever they're called. Teeter totters. That's what it is. So that life is like a teeter totter or a seesaw, and if you have a lot of this part, boom, it goes down. And then you need to feel like you need to compensate. So like the box 1 and box 4, sometimes if you're like going, you need to like crash and do nothing. So life can feel like, okay, we need to compensate for that. Or if we're doing too much of this activity or too little of that, then we want to balance it. However, you might also think about life. So when I was doing a hike the other day and I was thinking about that seesaw thing, I was thinking, well, is that really how we want to live our lives? Do we want to look at balance as a seesaw or teeter-totter effect? Or maybe we want to look at balance as what it feels like to be in the center rather than, oh, okay, I ate a lot of salt, right? So now I really have to eat a lot of sweet because then I'll feel more balanced. Because I think that's what happens to us a lot, and especially when we're eating things or when we're drinking things or when we're tasting things. And our being is like, oh, you go eat chips. In American food or Western food, a lot of the food is very salty. And so when you go to a restaurant or when you're making food and you eat a lot of salt, then what do we all feel like eating? We feel like eating sweets because it feels like it balances us. However, maybe if we didn't have so much salt, we wouldn't feel like we needed to have so much sweet, right? We could stay sort of in the center of our little teeter totter instead of like bang, 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 back and forth. So my thought was for when we're looking, because that's what I do sometimes. Like I don't sleep or anything and I go crazy and I do all these things. And then I have to like be out and I'm like in box one or whatever the box one and box four. So we're looking at, or I'm looking at how to share, how to stay more in the center of our lives rather than doing the teeter-totter thing as much. So food, let's think about food. Again, I was saying that in Western food or American food, a lot of the food is very salty, right? And so let's think about salt for a minute. So salt, what does salt do? Does it have a function? Does it have a purpose? What do people think about salt? Because that's a lot in our diet right now. Do you think it's, you want to offer some things you can shout out? It does. It's for hydration. So people think, oh, okay, just for the taste thing. People don't think that much about all the different tastes sometimes. And it's like sweet, okay, salt. So salt, hydration. It helps us. It actually helps us balance our electrolytes, right, in our body. So it keeps us hydrated, actually. It also is really important for your nervous system. I have to tell you a really funny story about salt. I think some people have heard this story before. But, I was hiking on Kauai. I think it was that little private bay and there was no one around, and my partner and I decided that we had potatoes and we're gonna cook it, but we realized we just like didn't bring any seasoning. I don't know why we didn't bring seasoning, but you think of seasoning, so you have to season. So we had the brilliant idea about boiling our potatoes in salt water. Don't ever do that. If you ever remember anything about this story, do not boil anything like food in salt water if you can help it, because I'll tell you what happened. Ocean water, sorry. Ocean water. Salt water is okay, but ocean water, because it's hard to know how much salt is actually in that ocean water and what actually happens to your food. So I got our potatoes, I boiled them in the ocean water. We ate them. This is a true story. We ate the potatoes, and they actually didn't taste that salty. They actually tasted kind of normal, except that within like 15 minutes, we were not normal anymore. Not even remotely normal. So we didn't really know what was happening, but we actually couldn't like speak to each other. And we started to feel like, and we were in the middle of nowhere, right? And we didn't even, at that point, I did not, of course, know that that's what happened. I just couldn't speak, was making sign languages. Somehow, this is really true. Somehow, I don't know if you know where, what is that little beach? Anyway, it was in the North Hanalei Coast area. We somehow got our place to that big save that's up there. There's a market, and we woke up in the aisle with Gatorade in our hands, drinking it. Now, if anyone knows anything about me, I don't drink Gatorade. Okay. As a matter of fact, I think it was probably even colored Gatorade, which at that moment I had no consciousness of what I was doing. And I didn't actually have slippers on or any piece of identification. Neither did my friend. And we're in the aisle drinking the Gatorade. This is really true. And we wake up sort of, and we look at each other like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And what happened was our electrolytes got so far off balance, our salt and our potassium or whatever it was, that we literally, nervous system was not functioning. And then when we drank the Gatorade and balanced our electrolytes, because that's what Gatorade is supposed to do, we came to. Of course, we didn't have any to pay. So we actually had to go to the guy super at the counter and be like, really, this is what happened. We're going to be right back with some money. Can we leave something with you, like an IOU? And she's like, yeah, that's the worst story I've ever heard. So I'm going to just believe it. And we did come back and pay him for the Gatorade. But that's what things do. That's what salt does. That's what sugar. I could tell you lots of stories about sugar, but we won't go there because I could be talking forever. So we know that sugar like runs our country, and sugar is this craziest thing that it can make us like, have all kinds of conditions, health conditions, but also all kinds of hyperactivity, nervous system, diabetes, all kinds of things. Of course, it also can make us really happy, right? Temporarily, until we have a sugar crash, and then we're like, need more sugar. So sugar is also about sweetness and comfort and reward and all those wonderful things that we think about when we reach for that dessert thing. So today, I want you to sort of look. We're going to have a little palette thing, and we don't have any artificial salt or sugar. We only have a plate coming to you. And I don't know if I had made exactly enough plates for everybody, so some of you might have to share. So first, we're going to pass that on in just a second. First, your cup. If you want to drink your little cup now, and I'm sure you can figure out what it is. Someone can shout out if they want to what flavor or what taste this particular sample is. And if I see some faces, some astringent. So, but bitter astringent, they're very similar. And of course, the tastes overlap and the foods overlap. So, since we're doing them very individually, I was going to have you, like, close your eyes, drink the drink, or when you're eating the food, close your eyes. And like astringent, what does that do for your body? How does that balance you? When do you need it? Astringent's kind of drying a little bit, right? Astringent's that sort of, it helps with what? Mucus and moisture. So if people don't necessarily think about those things, but that's what certain different flavors or different tastes do. So we can start bringing out the plates. Thank you. So on the plates, there's a few different samples of things. Mostly these things, some of the things from our farm, and there's some things that we bought from the organic store. And we're going to have you kind of go through each taste. And when you put the little thing in your mouth, whatever it is, we're just going to taste it and feel it and see, what does it nourish you? What does it feel like? If you have a specific allergy, I don't think I have any wheat so there is miso on the plate, but it's fermented soy. So if you have a problem with soy, it shouldn't be a problem. And probably most of you have not eaten miso plain before. I don't know. How many people here have actually tried miso like paste on their own? A few people. Okay, good. So some people would be like, miso paste, don't you have to do something with it, like make it into miso soup or cook it or whatever the case is? So, okay, so we're going to have a little taste experience and see how we feel about the nourishment piece here. So the other thing about different tastes is that when you combine tastes, like some people feel like, well, we're passing out the plates. When you combine things, like you could take that whole plate, and I don't know if everyone eats differently, but some people eat their food by mixing it together, like in the same bite. They put this and this and this, and they kind of eat it together. And other people are very clearly eat one type of food first, and then the other type of food, and the other type of food. Have you ever watched with people, different people, and they'll categorize their food? And it might be just interesting or fun to look at how you eat, and even to the point of nourishment as far as food is. At one point, I realized that I 'cause I don't really eat that fast, but I do have a quite busy schedule or quite full schedule. So sometimes I'm eating on the run, I'm eating really quickly, and I noticed that with my food, even if I'm eating really good food, if I'm not eating it very consciously or with much attention, I could be stuffing food in my mouth, and before the other food is even chewed or digested or even close to being, into my stomach, other food has been shoveled in. No one else does that? No, I'm sure. So my suggestion is, like, I had a little food card actually, and I put it next to my plate when I ate. This is for a little while when I wasn't eating well. And the little food card said, take 5 breaths before you eat anything. That was the first thing. So before you eat, you just take a breath, do some breathing. Your plate's in front of you. It might be getting cold or hot. You just breathe. And we just did a little bit of that breathing. We did some wonderful, relaxing. So that's the start. Then it would say something like, put your fork down or your spoon or your utensil down between each bite of food. We all do that, right? Everyone just puts their fork down, finishes chewing their food, and then it said, like, chew your food, like count 25 times or something crazy like that. And I don't ever do either. So all those things is the food pretty much out? Okay, awesome. So sorry if I missed somebody, but hopefully we can there's some other more food in there if not. Okay, great. So let's see. We just had astringent. And we're just talking about nourishment. What might come after astringent? Let's see. What does sour do? Does anyone know? Sour? Besides going like, okay, there's something in your plate that's kind of sour, and it's a little orange slice of something that comes in our farm. It's called calamansi. And so you can take it and you can squeeze the just wonderful juice into your mouth and just either close your eyes or just like, And if you want, really, you can add another flavor into that. But right now, we're going to just keep it with sour. And this is interactive, so people can say, oh, it made me feel, or what I'm nourished in what do you think? Refreshing. Okay, good. Salivating. Yes, these are good things. Spicy. Oh, wait. No. Sour. We're on the orange thing, Cory. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm like, no one has ever told me calamansi was spicy before, but maybe you got the one with the pepper because we have no. Okay, I didn't put my yellow pepper because I didn't want to burn people's tongues. So we just did the calamansi. Okay, so yes. So salivary. I don't want to take all afternoon. Sorry. So salivary and refreshing. So citrus is like if you have citrus essential oil, it's very uplifting. It doesn't make you feel like you're going to go to sleep. It's very uplifting and very joyful. And the salivary part is because it helps digestion. So I'm going to have it first, right? So sometimes if you're adding that to your meal, the thing is, do you want to add like do you want to add all the little flavors into your meal or see what you have in your meal so that you won't crave anything? They say in Ayurveda, that's what I had learned, that if you put all the different flavors and tastes into your meal, then you actually come to center. You come to nourish. They have a little chutney or they have a little sour or they have a little sweet and all those different things are in the same meal and you feel balanced rather than my meal is super salty and then I got to go eat ice cream after because I have to balance myself out. Okay, so that was the calamansi. Let's see. How about we go for salt? Because we've been talking a lot about salt. So salt is the little chopstick thing. Be careful that I broke the chopsticks to save them. So one end is kind of pokey. Take a little sample. If you're not used to that much salt, just take a little bit of it. So you have yours? Yep. And we talked a little bit about salt already, but has it so you can actually use miso just like that. You can put it is, right? And I like to watch everyone's faces because like sour has a particular face and then salt has a particular face and the other ones will too. So salt again, it really helps hydrate you. But again, the reason I also told you that story about the beach and the walk to the market is because if you have too much salt, right, then you can get your nervous system can get really whacked off too as well. So you need to find like what is your happy salt medium. If you had put that little chopstick piece into a cup of hot boiling water or hot water and made miso soup, it would, of course would like calm it down a little bit. If you had added something to that like seaweed or some other thing, it also adds different flavors to that nourishment as well. So that's the salt. Okay, we're getting there. So what else is on your plate? I think there's two little toothpicks that have a red thing and a white thing, right? So I put a red and a white because people think of sweet as really, really sweet. And so maybe do the white one first because that's you probably know. You can close your eyes, you can take a bite of it and you'd be like, mm. No one did that sour face or the salty face. But the thing is, if you bite if you chew it or you swallow it and it's in your mouth and maybe you chewed it a few times and you might compare it to like your apple pie or your or your other kind of your smoothie or your fruit. I was going to put fruit because we have a lot of fruit, but fruit is also very sweet. So it's it sweetens other foods and everything. You don't usually sweeten foods with sweet potato, but it definitely does have that sweet quality. And sometimes I was going to also put carrots because carrots are really interesting because carrots, and you eat them, they actually don't taste that sweet when they're raw. But then they actually taste pretty sweet when they're cooked, right? And sweet potato, just so you know, it actually the glycemic index changes quite a bit whether depending on how you cook it. So if you steam it, I actually steam these. They're actually sweeter. But if you boil it, it's actually not hard on your glycemic index. So like if you're a diabetic or you're having sugar issues and you boil your sweet potatoes, the sweet potatoes does not affect your blood sugar as much as that little piece did that I just gave you. But sweet does a lot of other things. What else does sweet do? Anyone besides energy? So that's exactly that sweet. That's what people do for if they need a little lift up, right? They take a little sugar or something. Diabetics, they'll take some sugar drink or that kind of idea. But again, I always tell people the most nourishing thing you can do for yourself is to eat before you're hungry, which is not easy these days. But eat before you're hungry because by the time that you're hungry, your blood sugar has dropped, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't be hungry. So your blood sugar has dropped, you're hungry, and now all of your different organs that were functioning off that blood sugar is now in a little bit of alert. Maybe even in panic for me sometimes because it's like, you're not giving me the blood sugar. And fortunately, I know that if I went and got some sugar right away, that it would be great for like a minute, maybe, but not even for my body. It would crash and be not so great pretty quickly. And then I would need to go get something more substantial like protein or something like that. The other thing on your plate, the red one, right? You can go ahead and do that now. And if you really have an aversion to this vegetable, I love this root vegetable. It's so good for you. It's so high in iron. How many people out there, be honest, like beets? Oh, good. It's my tribe. No, because most people that I go, they're like, it tastes like dirt or it tastes. So if you're eating it now and you're chewing it now, you can actually imagine or whatever the case is that it tastes kind of sweet, right? It's pretty sweet. And there's also some other no, he's like not sweet. Just kidding. But it also has some other little flavors in it, right? Or tastes in it. Does anyone have other tastes in that one? Some people think it's a little bitter or a little like something like that kind of a flavor, but maybe that's the earthy thing or something along those lines. But it's definitely high in iron. It definitely helps your blood sugar and stabilizes that as well. So that's a good one. The last thing on your plate are two leafy greens, and the reason I left them for last, although Cory did not, she loves them probably, and they're from our garden. And there's one that has more roundy leaves and one has more pointy leaves. And you're welcome to go start chewing them and chew them a little longer than you think you would like to chew them if you can help it, because of course, they're for the taste bitter. Correct, bitter and a little spicy, right? So I didn't want to give you peppers because that would really throw people off, but bitter and spicy. And the thing about bitter is that often, have you heard of bitters at the bar? I don't know, people, maybe I'm old. You can get bitters, and bitters actually is usually at the beginning of meals, or often at the beginning of meals, to help you digest as well. However, it's also given sometimes at the end of meals. I know this wasn't a meal, but I was kind of giving you the idea of this as a meal. And at the end of a meal, because like if you have that big lasagna meal or that big really heavy meal, and you're sitting there and you're no one's ever done that. I'm sure big kind of like comatose. Where's my husband? No, I'm just kidding. And just lay down after a big meal or even a small meal and feel like you have to siesta, right? You have to rest. It's because all your blood flow is going to your stomach or your digestive system and digesting your foods, right? So the bitters help you digest your foods better. So and bitters are really, as you can probably tell, high in fiber, or they're very fibrous. So they have a lot of good fiber for the microbiome. They're like prebiotics, right? They help you put all the good bacteria flora into your gut and help nourish your gut as well. Because as we are learning, there's so many different ways to nourish yourselves, right? Food is just one of them. But when we think of nourishment, we often think of food. So I had to include food in this little presentation, this little gathering that we had. And if you have questions or want more food, I have a little bit more in there, or you want to, you can share anything about food stories. We're also taking some time at the end, to also talk and share and meet each other and create this community. So does anyone have anything they want to shout out about food right now? Something? I'm happy to. Good. Okay. Then we're going to, I think, move on to CJ, another of our ambassadors, and do a really fun little project. And I'm going to help out with that as well. And he'll explain it, and I'll help do some of the prep work for that too. Okay. Thank you very much.
Dandelion and arugula. That's the two greens. Hello. All right, I haven't done that much. Thanks for your patience there. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you here. Thanks, everyone. Nicole, Dr. Lori, all the ambassadors, always for building this, putting it together, organizing it all, getting everyone to be here, and then everybody's input, coming from their own experience in life. And I was asked to bring something to the table, creative, in alignment with nourishment, and a lot of different ways to reflect on nourishment. And think it's important to reflect on how we're nourishing ourselves all the time in any given moment, and getting a reflection of that through how we nourish other things. Parents know that through raising kids, and those who like to grow plants and take care of things. You get a real reflection of how well you take care of yourself. So I thought we could do something nice today to reflect on ourselves and just get a good, clear idea on this spring equinox moving forward of the things that we feel nourish us, that help us to feel good, and just to call those things in and perhaps write them down if we find some markers on the little project that we're going to do. But definitely call them in now to get clear in your thoughts what those things are. So I'm going to invite everybody once again, because it's always a nice idea, to just sit kind of comfortably and breathe. Take a deep breath into your belly, into your nose, up in your heart, and let it out very relaxed. Take another breath like that. Another nice one, in through the nose. And ask yourself now, what makes me feel nourished? What feels good to me? Whatever it is that comes up, it's good. It's all good. Whatever popped up, it can be a person you like spending time around. It can be an animal. It can be an activity that you do. It can be a certain food that you eat. It could be a practice that you have. So connecting with that, you're going to have some little pieces of paper coming around for you. And what you're going to do is keeping in mind the whatever just popped up for you. And it could be 1,000 things, and it could be one thing. It could be an affirmation, ho'oponopono, calling that in. For me, that's really powerful. And whatever comes up to you, you want to be loving, you want to be grateful, you can just write thank you all over your piece of paper. And we're going to listen to a bit of sweet music by the lovely Pavana here, while we just chill and connect with that, continue breathing, and really think of just the things that help you to feel nourished. Doesn't have to be the right answer, anything like that. It's just what feels good to you. And we're going to be doing a little craft with these that's pretty cool, and planting a seed that you're going to be taking home with you today. So yeah, put some energy, some love into it. And if you're ready, some of you might just be ready without even drawing on your paper to get into the craft. So I'm going to start doing the little tutorial here of what we're going to do. You're going to be making your own little flower pot with that piece of paper. It's an origami move that I learned as a kid, and I never forgot it because it was really useful. If you have a square piece of paper ever, you can make a cup. And I've used it a lot as like a little water drinking cup at the fountain. It's great. And right now we're doing it to plant a seed in it that you're going to take home with you. And you have with you a nice, neat square. It looks perfectly machine cut, but actually they were hand cut with a lot of love from Pavana and myself. So be grateful. You got a good square. It's really very simple. You take corner to corner, and no rush. You can keep writing, doing your thing. I'll repeat this a bunch, You just go corner to corner like that. And then you're going to have you want the open tips to be up top when you're going to work, right? So you just make a new triangle and give it a good crease. Yeah, get it good. The cleaner all your edges and folds are in origami, the better your piece is going to turn out, especially with this. It's a little thick. Once you have this new triangle and you have the open part up top, remember? Then you're going to fold these two corners across like this in thirds. The goal is when you do this first fold across is to match this line with this bottom line parallel, right? You want it to be straight across as best you can. And you'll have it looking like that halfway. And then when you have that, you'll bring the other one. You're aiming for straight across again so that it's parallel to the top. So you got your triangle here. Boom, it's open on top. In from the side, straight. Get your good crease, take your time, get it good. Boom. Other side. Then you're going to have this looking guy here. Yeah, you got a G. You just fold those guys in from the beginning. Oh, starting right from the beginning. Here we go. Corner to corner. You can start with the diamond. Bring one corner right on up. I like to really match that top corner. Then start with the fold in the middle. Bring it out to both sides. All right. Then the next fold with the open part up top. You're curling over, getting a parallel line. Then the same one. Boom. Once you have this shape, you're going in and you're grabbing only the one TP top that's on the side of the folds. And that's what's gonna seal the deal for you there. That's what's gonna hold those folds there. And the other one's gonna go the other way, down like that. And you're gonna have this shape. All right, how are we doing? Everyone's doing great. This is going not better than I expected, but it's going great. All right, and then once you have those two down, you're gonna get to reach in the top and pull it open like that. And then you're gonna have your little pot, your cup. All right, and then boom, you fold it back up, put it in your pocket, you put it away, whatever. Pull it back out. So starting at the square, the big square, boom, comes up. The two come across, even, Stevens. This one folds down. This one folds the back. And then you're going to kind of pop it, right? You got to get this magical moment where it all comes together and you say, oh, I made something. Wow. And the more you can kind of do the reverse fold of what it was, the more of a real clean round shape you'll get. Then I ran into the problem that they actually don't stand up, right? So I got creative, and with the strips, excess strips that I cut off, made little rings. So they're little stands. And then I thought, oh, I got to staple them, right? But no, then it came to me, I could cut little slits in them and they could connect, and it all worked out. So you're going to get some of those little strips of paper too, and that'll make a stand. And yep, just like that. There you go. And you can keep practicing. This is really great paper, so you can open it back up and everything. And yeah, be sure to put a little art in there. And also recognize how much heart you've put in there already, right? And the idea is that once you complete this pot, you've written a couple, good magical things down for yourself. We're going to fill it with soil. We have some soil that we brought here and some seeds of a couple of nice plants. We have tulsi seeds and seeds of chamomile, both of which at one point when they grow, after you nurture them and water them, you can make a tea from them. And you can, again, be nourished by this plant that you are going to nourish and take care of. And really, most importantly, is just, to be able to take a moment anytime you see your plant or go to put water on it and reflect on yourself and, how you're nourishing yourself. Have you done one of these things that you wrote down on this paper? Perhaps you're feeling so bold today that you make some sort of agreement with yourself that you're going to do something every day, however small it is, whatever it may be. For me, I like the things that can just be infused in any moment in the day. It doesn't take anything, it can be, am I being curious? I feel nourished when I'm curious. So am I being curious about things, keeps me open-minded. Something like that mentality. So a couple more minutes and go ahead and write away, draw away, put some colors on there, fold it, unfold it. Everyone looks like they got their pot nicely. And when you're ready, you are going to be getting served up by one of the greatest women of service on this planet, Dr. Lori Kimata. She's going to bring some soil around for you when you have your cup. And sweet Nicole, oh wow, look at them. They make quite the team. So they're coming around to offer you soil and seeds. Be ready. Your moment is coming. And just enjoy the music. It's nourishing. The sound of silence at this farm sounds beautiful. Thank you so much for that, for the beautiful sounds, your voice. I'm glad to see everyone feeling, looking nourished in their little origami plant experience. So these pots won't withstand the test of time and the elements once you've been watering them and everything. So eventually you can put it right in the dirt. This thing will take care of itself. Mama Earth will eat it up, right? It'll biodegrade and put it in a pot, or eventually in the earth is the ultimate. And then the seed that you're planting here on this Equinox 2022, it'll always stick with you. And then you'll be drinking it up when you drink your tea. So put in some good prayers, good thoughts for this year, for each other. So cool we're coming together in community like this and getting to just share this beauty, and so grateful for the land and all the work Tunji and Lori does, and everyone working with the church, and everyone offering themselves today, and all of you who make this possible for coming here and bringing your hearts and participating. Thank you all so much, and thank you again, Pavana. If you want to share anything, you're welcome to, or not, of course. Yeah, beautiful. And there's something, I don't even know what's coming up next. It sounds mystical and cool though, which I'm always into. So luckily, there's no rush, and the weather is beautiful, and we're in good company here. Grateful to be here with you all.
I'm not gonna sing. Yeah, she can. Yeah. Thank you. Do you want me to just play guitar? Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I'm not gonna sing right now. Yeah, we're just gonna share. Because we're talking about connection.
Nourishing your connections.
Yeah, so
This is Cassie.
hello everyone. Before we get
I'm
started, let's close our eyes for a moment. Just taking a big deep breath. We've had so many beautiful offerings, so many words of wisdom, allowing it to settle. Allowing your mind and your heart to align. Allowing it to nourish every cell in your body. Feeling the deep connection to the earth. The connection to your heart. Most importantly at this moment, the connection to each other. We've all come today with different stories, different backgrounds, different life experiences. But we've all found ourselves here, in this moment, in this space, in this beautiful land. One of the most nourishing aspects is our connection to each other. Our humanity, the ways we fall and pick ourselves back up again, the ways we embarrass ourselves, stretch ourselves, move in this earth, on this earth with each other. In the ways we forgive each other, hold each other, see one another, cry with one another, hold each other tight in times of need, times of grief, times of beauty, the ways we can come together and celebrate. The deep nourishment that we give to each other. And as we sit here, you may have come dressed up, looking pretty, holding yourself high in your personality, yet underneath it all, we're the same. At this time of spring equinox, it gives us a beautiful opportunity to let go. Let go of the old stories and patterns and ideas, personalities, everything we're holding up that's not serving us anymore. We have an opportunity to be rebirthed, refreshed, honored for where you are at this moment in time. Rubbing your palms together, you can place them on your heart or anywhere on your body that you want to send some love. Anywhere feeling tense, strained, that needs a little love or nourishment. Begin to awaken your senses. You can rub your ears and listen. What sounds do you hear? Allow it to bring you deeper into this moment. Is it children laughing? Is it the birds? The music? Feel your feet on the ground. Is it soft, rough, firm, supporting? What's your experience in this moment? And as you begin to open your eyes, you can gaze across the room or turn around and meet another's eyes in appreciation and gratitude. Allow yourself to look into the sky, whatever is nourishing to your sight. Is it someone's smile? Someone giving you a wink? The trees, the sun. Allow yourself to soak it all in. When Nicole and I came together to do this today, we thought it was important to talk about connection to each other because it's one of the most nourishing aspects within a community and something incredibly valuable to humanity at this time and forever. So we are excited to offer an experience for everyone to get off their seats. And you can explain it for us.
You did. Okay.
Lori, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go a little bit deeper. That was really beautiful, Cassie. Thank you for that. Your voice is so calming and quick to get everybody grounded. We're going to do a little bit of some soul gazing. And you'll see when we start, everybody can get something different out of it. But, you know, with what Cassie was saying is when we nourish ourselves, it opens up the space for us to be able to nourish our relationships and the people around us. And even when we nourish somebody else, we're all connected. So in return, we're actually nourishing ourselves. So we are going to all nourish each other right now. And Dr. Lori has so right-brained, split us in half already. So if half of us can form a circle. So she's gonna
Move the chair.
Yes, we can move the chairs. So this is our last real activity, so feel free to move and create the space for this final activity. Yes.
So as we do this, it's important to remember that one of the most beautiful aspects that builds connection between each other is those moments of being very awkward or embarrassing. And that's what brings us together. So we're here building community. It's incredibly important. So let's just all step out of our comfort zone.
This is a heavy one.
Well, remember, we're all doing this together and it's going to be beautiful.
Garrett's gonna form them now. So whoever Lori has counted out, and please form a circle.
We can do this. We can do this.
About 15 people, please form a circle. Okay, this circle, turn around and face out. There you go. Good job. Thank you. Great listening. Okay, the remaining people, if you could please come and form a circle around this circle on the outside. Yes, you will be standing directly in front of someone. Get close.
CJ, come in.
No 6 feet here, people. You can get a little closer, Cory. It's okay. Does everyone have someone standing in front of them? The goal is to have everyone standing with somebody in front of them. Yes, a partner. Can you please get back to the circle? Well, we can just go with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, when we start, you're going to stare into the person in front of you's eyes for gaze. She told me 1,000,000 times not to stare. You are going to gaze. No stink eyes. No stink eyes. You're going to gaze. And when you're looking into this person's eyes, you can do whatever you want, but you could also think of something you want to send to that person, maybe love, a compliment in your mind. You can do it. Just anything you want to give them. Energy if they look tired. Whatever you feel that person needs, you can send it to them while you gaze into their eyes. And then after 30 seconds, I'm going to ding the crystal bowl here. And the outer circle is going to move one person to their right. Any questions? Okay, this can become very intense, but also loving. So it's okay to laugh. It's okay to cry.
Make funny faces.
It's okay to be totally serious. You are in a safe place and you are welcome to react whatever comes up for you. And we're going to start. So 30 seconds on the clock. Please gaze into your partner's eyes.
Yeah, we have to do it. We're doing it.
What about Pavana?
Do a 3-eye. Yes. Outer circle, one person to the right, please. And here we go again. Another time to the right.
Outer circle, one person to the right.
How does it feel to be seen? One more time to the right. This will be our last time. And begin. Being seen and being authentic. It attracts honesty. And honesty is what births connection. What gives life to community. What infuses humanity.
I hope everyone enjoyed it. This is a practice that you can take home with you and do with your partners and with your friends. And it doesn't have to be so intentional as this. Maybe you start trying to do it without anybody even knowing that you're doing it. You know, when you're listening to somebody who's talking to you, you can really look them in the eye and gaze into their soul and what they're really trying to tell you and share with you. It doesn't have to be, oh, let's sit here and gaze into each other's eyes. Just do it and see how people start reacting around you and how the energy can shift when you're nourishing your relationships and each other and yourself, because we're all connected. So with nourishing that person in front of you, you're nourishing yourself. So thank you everyone for participating without too much not wanting to.
Yeah. And thank you all. This is where the beauty in community happens, is after the fact, where we can connect, communicate, share experiences. So please take your time. And Dr.
And Pavana is here to play some beautiful music for us. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to let people know that we come together every month and we have different intentions. And today was about nourishment and nourishing. So March is nourishing month, and April next month is going to be is cleansing. and detoxing and clearing. And we did it in this order because I really have felt that in order to cleanse well, we need to really be nourished deeply, or it's easier to cleanse if you have nourished yourself somewhat. And then the following month, May, will be rejuvenation, because after you cleanse and nourish, after you nourish and then you cleanse, then you really need to be rejuvenated. And I think Cory has many things to share with that as well. So yes, please commune, join, meet other people, and enjoy Pavana's beautiful music to finish our gathering off today. Thank you.
And and we also have a table set up in the back over here for anyone who hasn't signed up at vitallivingway.com for our monthly newsletter that has amazing stories and reflections and advice about the monthly theme, sometimes recipes, which are delicious. So if you're interested in that, there's an iPad. You can sign up over there. And we also have a donation bowl if you're feeling inclined. And we really appreciate every single one of you for coming. Yes, CJ? Are those snacks tuned? Yes, there are some sweet scents, dried banana and dried mango from the farm. So please enjoy while you listen to the amazing Pavana, and very chewy with lots of sugar, so not too much.
And water.
Hi, Rocco. Nice to see you again. I'll see you this week, and we'll do some piano, yeah? Good. I'm excited to do some piano and maybe singing. We'll see. Nice to meet you. Ekon kairai satinamai shiriva hey guru 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 Okay. That would be great. Yeah. Maybe just right here. Even. Perfect. Perfect.
Salve a rainha do mar, salve minha mãe, Jeová. Salve a rainha do mar, salve minha mãe, Jeová. Ela é a criadora do fundo do mar, do fundo do mar. Ela é a protetora do fundo do mar, do fundo do mar. Ela é a minha mãe, ela é Jeová. Ela é a minha mãe, ela é Jeová. Salve a rainha do mar, salve minha mãe, Jeová. Salve a rainha do mar, salve minha mãe, Jeová. Ela é a criadora do fundo do mar, do fundo do mar. Ela é a protetora do fundo do mar, do fundo do mar. Ela é a minha mãe, ela é Jeová. Ela é a minha mãe, ela é Jeová. O Kalapanai, Kaileon Walono Kauka, Ohole, Yehovah Kalapanai. O Kalapanai, Kaileonui, Walono Kauka, Ohole, Jehovah Kalapanai. Yeah. That's all.
Okay. Oh, it goes till 6. Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that they are live streaming these gatherings on the YouTube channel. So all the passwords are there as well. So if you want to check some out from the past, and Pavla's going to play just a little bit more.
Let's see.
Oh, pardon.
Hum me hum to me too. Thy Guru, I am thine in mind myself. Thy Guru, hum me hum to me too. Thy Guru, I am thine in mind myself. Thy Guru, and if you call on me, I'll come running like a coyote, 'cause we're pillars indeed, a lighthouse when you're out to sea, a beacon when direction's all I need, a compass if you know what I need. Drunk on that nectar of all that you are to me. Hum me hum to me too. Thy Guru, I am thine in mind myself. Thy Guru, hum me hum to me too. Thy Guru, I am thine in mind myself. Thy Guru, and if you call on me, I'll come running like a coyote, 'cause we're pillars
compass if you know what I mean. Drunk on that nectar of all that you are to me. And if you call on me, I'll come running like a coyote. 'Cause we're pillars indeed, a lighthouse when you're out to sea, a beacon when direction's all I need, a compass if you know what I mean. Drunk on that nectar of all that you are to me. Thank you. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Aloha, aloha, Thank you. All right. Thank you. I need to put some new strings on it.